Podcast.
Hello and welcome to PMC English. This is Aishi Farasi and welcome back to our series of podcasts. Today we'll be again in conversation with Mr. Vedavyas and Mr. Dilip with the topic of stocks and spirituality. In the previous episode, we learned about what is stock trading and how do we deal with it in the spiritual aspect. So today we'll go into a deeper aspects of stock trading and spirituality. Welcome to our show, sir. Hello. So in the previous episode, we learned about what is stock trading and how do we deal with in the spiritual aspect. So my first question to you, Mr. Dilip, is that why do people usually run for stock trading?
I told earlier, stock trading is different from stock investments. So people go for stock trading just because they feel it is easy making money, easy ways to make money. You just sit in front of system or not even system, a mobile, you have so many ads, how easy to buy stocks, and they think, okay, buy and sell and I get money. So they feel it is easy money, and over it, these days especially, there are so many people who are working from home. They find this time to navigate between screens and gadgets. And top of it, there are a lot of social media channels and Telegram, like especially Telegram is a, even there is a notice from SEBI yesterday about Telegram channels, how good they are. So they give a lot of tips. This tip is biggest crime in stock trading. I mean that is the foul game. In fact, they have their own ways to make money by making people to invest in different ways. But people doesn't realize all these things and they think it is easy game, and they come and they start trading.
Yeah, because I also generally see on the social media that learn stock trading in 100 rupees or like for in a 1 day or a 2 day. Is it that easier or they are just playing with the emotions of people to make money?
Definitely learning, I don't say it's a rocket science. It is easy if you learn. The challenge is not learning and getting into this game is a problem. Learning is not only how to trade or the skill set behind this trading, not only that, but on the emotional side also, how to control your emotions. Otherwise, you see 1,000 rupees positive, next minute you will see 10,000 rupees negative. That is how this total game goes on. That too, especially with vigorous products like futures and options, you can't have control over your wallet. It just bangs on, and people go for that without realizing how good they are making. They are not satisfied, and as I told on the other day, it's like greed also sometimes takes over it.
Right.
So the people thinks it is easy making way, and social media and reading newspapers or looking at some news, they think I have a great news. They do not realize it's not fresh news. It's all the moment related to this news would have already happened in the market by the time it reaches to the very small retailers like us. But it should be realized, and they can realize only with the practice and understand. In one of the basic course that I teach also, we say information diet. You should have information diet. If you go with technical analysis, you actually don't need a lot of news around. Of course, there is something very big news like pandemic and all, that's a different story. But small news, no, it will show in the technicals. But fundamentals, they need little news about the companies and all. So how they do it? And still, there with so many regulations around, there is chance of gamble also. So you should know with the experience you get how to get rid of these things. But without learning anything, just with a tip and with the app and with the account, it's very easy to transfer our money to the others, not to gain, in fact. So that is how it is.
So now with this aspect, Mr. Vyas, like people are getting trapped when people are coming up with these kinds of apps, or they're coming up with these tips saying that learn stock trading in a day or so. So it is actually playing with their emotions, or they are playing with their mindset. So how do people actually deal with this?
See, advertisement has evolved. Earlier it used to be just for creating visibility. Now a lot of psychology is involved in advertising, and a lot of politics. There are two things that happen.
Right.
So if you want to make, if a big company or a big investor wants to make a lot of money in stock market, he has to create an advertising channel and advertise that I'll give you a lot of good tips. So whatever stock he wants to go up, he'll say it's going to increase, and a lot of people buy it.
Right.
And when they buy it, it actually goes up. Right? If a lot of people are buying something, its price goes up.
Yes.
Then this guy already has that stock purchased at low price, he will offload. And he made his money. But rest of the people, they feel that this guy has given the right information. But why did they give that information? Right? But when should they offload it? So you have to have a trusted information source who is actually thinking about you, not about themselves. When can you feel that you have trusted information source? Do you think a good Telegram or social media platform will give you trusted information?
Not really.
So you have to have a person, you have to have engagement, you have to have that experience with him, you have to have a lot of feedback about him, you have to spend time with the person for say a few months or at minimum and learn from them. Then you know how much you can trust that person. Still it's a variable. When we can't trust people in our family with our money, right?
Right.
When we are not able to trust our friends with our money,
Right.
but we are willing to trust a social media platform, not even platform, a channel in that, by someone else who just says that I'm an expert. He might be expert, that's okay. But you are trusting your money to that information. So my question is why? What makes it so interesting? Because it's more like legalized gambling.
Right.
See, if you go to some real gambling like casinos, there are very few casinos in India. You can see the kind of addiction they feel there. So this is also like that. When you are working very hard at your job and earning money the hard way, so it's a struggle. But the moment you see one good tip and you see missed opportunity that I should have invested, my friend has invested and got money, your friend will never speak about how much they lost.
Right.
Right? They want to brag about those trades where they got money. They will never tell what is the percentage of their win, what is the biggest loss they have got, how much did they overall lose. Do you think they'll be brag about that thing?
No, not at all.
No. So this is the psychology people are playing on. So people tend to want to show that I am good at something, even if they are losing badly.
Yes.
So when the talk comes, that is the kind of talk that comes up. It's not actually heart-to-heart talk, nor is it about a relationship or about trust. It's about bragging.
Right.
That is what these channels are playing with and making a lot of money. Okay? I'm not saying all channels are like that, but there is a distinct possibility that this happens. Right? So always I would say know the person in person. Today we want to sit at home at our convenience. Everything should happen just by touching few buttons. And it's become convenient, but the cost of convenience is you don't know who to trust because you are not building that relationship. Like if I want to invest in a business, like really invest in a business, not on the stock market. Stock market is like you are investing in a business, right? Like a real company somewhere. So if you want to go to that company and really want to invest, what will you do?
They should have that trust.
First of all, you should know the whole information of the company. And then you have to do a lot of work to ascertain whether this company can actually grow or not. You need to check with a lot of specialists, CAs, investment specialists and all who have a lot of experience in these things and know about that company from their perspective. And then average out and make your own decision. That is the amount of work really goes into investing something. But when it comes to trading, all that goes out. So you want it easy, so you lose it easy. So that is the psychology. The emotion behind it is sort of what is the emotion you feel when you are gambling. It's about you want to win no matter cost without putting any effort into growing yourself. So that is the kind of, I would rather use a better word, but I feel that the right word here is irresponsibility. Am I right?
Very true. Very true.
So emotionally, karmically speaking, if it is like we are overcompensating because we are dissatisfied with the real work, the real hard way of earning money is becoming hard and you are not happy with it, you are not creating happiness there, so you want to overcompensate with something else that is easy and you want to brag about it.
Right.
So that is what is the psychology behind, or the karmic energy behind it. The once we actually learn to be happy with ourselves, then if we go into trading, we won't see it as easy money. We will see it as what it is. There is a lot of expectation, there is a lot of risk, and then based on our proper understanding and relationships and the things are moving, we observe, study, and then when we do something, we'll do it within limit. Like if I have, say, some amount of savings, how much am I willing to gamble with? That I might go into up my investment in futures. And how much I am willing to short-term investment, that will go into stock trading. How much I am going to medium investment, that will go into some stable companies. Long-term investments, that will go into like blue chip companies, right?
Very true.
So that sense of how much I am limiting to what is very clear. And then we experiment within that amount, and if we lose, that's okay. Like when we give kids money, pocket money, you give every month certain amount only. If they spend it on the first day, will you give it immediately?
No.
No. But here, there is no one telling people saying that you should only spend this much amount in the month. They don't budget because that sense of responsibility is lost when you want easy money. So we tend to overspend. So to become responsible here, one needs to understand that what am I overcompensating for? What am I really unhappy about in my life? And address that aspect. If that is not addressed, this is guaranteed failure. Because you won't be happy here and you won't learn here, you won't be responsible here. Am I right?
Very true. Very true.
And also when it comes to stock trading, Dilip, there are a lot of emotions attached to it because the market, it keeps, going up and down. And now also with the speculations that there is another virus coming up and there will be a lockdown. So there are a lot of emotions attached and people start worrying about it. So can you just explain, like when it comes to you, what are the kind of emotions that flow in?
Correct. See, in your question, you told speculation. that is the major thing what is happening around. See, as an advisor also, I do a lot of other financial advisors. We categorize investors into 3 categories: conservative, moderate, and aggressive. So if one investor knows what type of investor he is, if he is aggressive, he should be ready with such risk. See, today it's not, few products are not such. You invest 1 lakh rupee, for example, and you lose this 1 lakh. No, it will not stop there. Sometimes your bank will be in negative denominations because of the loss that you made on that day. Such products are there in the market. So especially during these scenarios like pandemic, Lehman Brothers collapse, or now Omicron, when there is a high volatility, the market moves up and down, you do not know where is it, whether you should exit or not, or whether you should wait for some more time, unless you are experienced enough to handle it. So at this place, you will zero down your account. It will happen where if you are on the wrong side, it will make your account zero. So handling this is, if it is new to the market, if you are not someone who learned how to do it, it is always advisable to stay away from market. Especially for me, when I am teaching basics also, if there is a news on the stock, don't go to that stock, because you can't handle it, especially in the initial days. If there is a news, you think, okay, I have a positive news and it will go up. No, you think it is a positive news. As Sir told, it is about fundamental analysis. Do you know how to read an annual report of a company? In that case, how do you know the news is correct? See, highlights will be always, this company has gained year to year so much or something, but do you know how to evaluate it? We do not know. So recently, there are so many things that happen. Even IRCTC recently, it has a huge volatility. Within 2 days, it lost 30 to 40% of its stock value. Why? Because of one news. So how to handle such? Don't have all eggs in the same basket, and don't come into this unless you learn. And personally, for me, I'll also stay away at certain times. See, this is not my part, because I know what capital I have, what risk I can bear with. If I get in, I'll write it on a white paper. This is the risk that you can hold for today. Else, just quit. I'll paste it. Otherwise, if I do not have this white paper, I have a board. In fact, if I do not have it in front of screen, hope, greed, every emotion comes into play, and there are certain days where I have lost 80% of my capital, where I was relying on this market and earn bread and butter from this, but I lost 80%. And it's easy to say I have lost out, let us say 10 lakhs I have invested, 5, let's say 50%, 5 lakhs I have invested. But to regain this 10 lakhs, I have to win 200% from 5 lakhs, because I have to go to 10 lakhs. So these calculations are really tough, and this word called speculation is actually bringing people down. When then, personally for me, after so many experiences like this, especially during union budget days, there will be a lot of huge volatility. Election results, especially the parliament election results, there will be, just stay back. Market is there every time, because it's a big people game that time. The huge institutions would come and invest from foreign if the favorable government comes to them. If they feel the government is not stable, they would go back. We do not know. You may be fan of one person or the other person, but we do not know what is their real capability in terms of. If you are able to read all those things, then maybe you can take that advantage, but still take it not with whole amount. Otherwise, stay back. That is what I have learned, especially during these days. But this, it's an accidental one. Union elections budget, we know it will come on certain days. But Omicron, all of a sudden, Friday morning, the last month expiry is over, and we thought, okay, everything looks good, it's bottomed out, it should come up, and all of 500 points Nifty down, boom, gone. So who can handle this? Definitely not the retailers. You should have that sort of discipline, then only you can come out of it. But for that, to have that discipline, maybe sir should explain how good that would affect, especially in front of the screen.
And also, if staying back is the right approach.
Yeah, depends on the person. In fact, see, as I said, do you have a plan? First is, many people don't have a plan. Like he said, he writes down that this is the amount of risk I can take today. Beyond that, like I said, if you give a kid for some amount of pocket money, if they spend it on the first day of the month, they won't get it back. Similarly, treat that as a kid yourself, and limit what is the amount you can lose in a day. Do you have that plan? And then there are many things that come into picture when we don't have a plan. Everything will go out of haywire. But if you have a plan, do you have a good enough plan? That's the next question. How do you know it's a good plan? Because only after losing money you will know that whether the plan is working or not. Then do you have integrity to stick to the plan? You have an amazing plan because someone said you should have a plan, you made the plan. But are you sticking to the plan?
Yeah, that's another aspect.
Another aspect. So when you actually check all these things, that comes that our behavior is much more volatile than the stock market. Stock market has certain volatility, but our emotions, the highs and lows, they have much more volatility. Our worries have bigger volatility. Like we said, if you are investing in a company, you actually study all this and see whether that company is really good, and then you will invest. Similarly, where is your plan actually coming from? Where is this volatility actually coming from? What are you not addressing inside your personality? If we don't go into ourselves also, whatever information we got, even if it's from best source, will make a mess of our investment. You have best advisors, but still you are losing. That means you don't know where you are coming from. What are you being in that situation? So it's not only clarity about the market and studying about market. In this case, best traders are those who understand themselves. then they'll be able to put whatever is happening in right perspective and see things as they are rather than as they are projected, right? So have you seen someone, when people say something, they directly put them in place and saying that if they are faking something, they simply put them in place. Have you seen such people? How are they able to do that? Because a lot of people, even we naturally try to say, I'm all right. Even this simple all right, are you really all right?
No. Deep inside they're suffering. Yeah.
So that reality, the people who are able to perceive such reality behind what it is, are people who have seen reality inside themselves and they are fine with it, right? So knowing our own reality and seeing ourselves for who we are and being okay with it is one of the major value that one needs to have to be able to handle things responsibly in financial market, especially in volatile trading. Emotion wise, I should be aware. Why am I worried? I might be think that I am worried because of that loss, but that actual loss is some other loss that happened some other time in my life that is more painful, and it's just getting triggered because of this small loss. So the basic aspect is we have to be understanding our own life and our own personality, our own triggers, and address them so that we can see things for what they are. Then we can place things as they are, and then there is more likelihood that we'll be accurate in and more responsible in our investments. Then we'll be able to stick to the plan. And we'll have a really good plan. Even if it's not a really good plan, sticking to the plan itself is a big thing. So you won't go into big losses. There is a control.
So, Mr. Dilip, do you have any questions that you want to clarify from Mr. Vyas related to emotions or, the kind of mindset that you go through or the low times when it comes to stock trading?
Definitely. I mean, not only in terms of trading, sir, I'm also advising few CEOs and MDs now,
Right.
thankfully. When we give an advice, for example, let us say 15% per annum is something, a benchmark. There are few level of people who are certified, like chartered accountants, who says this is speculation. People who are really not qualified think 15% is very less. No, that is small.
Right.
15% per month also. There are people who says it's small per month also. So it's definitely the mindset which is actually telling them. A qualified person telling 15% per annum is big. A non-qualified person or an average person is telling 15% per month is also okay or even less. So how can we think of these people, or how can we educate these people? Because I know person who is thinking 15% per month is also less, he would suffer at one point of time with the given conditions, with my experience that I have.
No, actually what is simply you have to first understand what is driving people. So each person, it is different. So someone who has struggled with money and understand the value and the investments and growth, who is matured, will listen to experts. Someone who isn't, some people just come, they only want reassurance that they are right. They don't want to know that they are wrong.
Okay.
They don't really want to improve. They just want to show off and be center of attention or something. It depends on the personality of what they really want. Once you identify that this person is like this, then it's your choice. Do you want that person as a client or not?
Not. Okay.
Because when someone comes to me as a life coach, a lot of people come with a lot of problems. One of my biggest checkpoint is, are they coming for themselves? Right? Usually they want their partners or children or their parents to improve. I don't take such clients. Okay?
He is not flexible.
No, it's not about flexibility. They don't need my help. They want someone else to improve. You cannot improve someone else. You can only improve yourself. That is a basic thing. If you are coming to me to complain about other people and you don't want to grow, I'm wasting my time with you.
Okay.
Right? and my time is valuable to me. So that's his first basis for me choosing my clients. Second basis I choose is how committed they are to own their own development. Are they just doing it to satisfy someone else, or do they really want to grow? Are they really committed? So that will decide how long they are going to stay with me and how much benefit they are going to get. So if someone is not really committed, they can't afford me. I put my prices in that such range that, oh, that much. Yes, it's that much. If your life is that value and you are really ready to put that amount and be committed, come. Again, if I'm not charging enough, then anybody will come. But they'll be wasting my time.
And they'll also be taking it in an easy way.
Easy way. So when they really invest, let's say, there are some people who invest about 20 to 30% of their salary on coaching. And when they are investing that much amount, or 50% sometimes they will be borrowing to get some things done, then they are really committed. If it is easy money they are spending on with me, then they won't benefit that much. They have to see that value. So when you are offering something to someone, you have to see whether they really value you or not.
Correct. Got it.
Are they in a stage that they really value?
I should understand if he's speculating or if he's in reality.
Yes. So most of the time people are not in reality. And if they are not in reality, you can't do anything for them.
True.
The life will teach them, and when they are ready, they'll come back.
Very correct. Got it.
So they are not our clients.
Understood. That is the easy way to handle it. Much easy way to handle it. Correct. Got it.
So the person has to value what you are offering, should have the ability to recognize
Got it.
that you are offering good.
Got it. And even for learning, in terms of learning how to trade, if they are not serious enough, I mean, this we should find. Even in my teachings, I say you should understand what type of trader you are. Are you a day trader, or are you a speculator, or are you an investor, or are you a positional trader who take it for weeks? And unless this mindset is understood, the risk cannot be defined. And unless the risk is defined, you do not know how to handle it. Got it. I do this, but when you told me, I got a little more clarity on it. That okay, let us eject few things or block few things. Don't get into. Don't take them as a client. Otherwise, it will be stressful.
You can't help everybody.
True. That I understood.
And you can't help someone who is not ready to be helped.
That is the biggest point. Got it.
So I think these were the aspects, or there are a lot of challenges that when it comes to stock trading. And when we combine spirituality with stock trading, it gets into a very vast topic. So we'll discuss more things and more questions in the coming episode. Thank you for joining us. So viewers, today we were in conversation with Mr. Vedavyas and Mr. Dileep with the topic of stock trading and spirituality. I hope that many of your questions would have got clarified, and we'll again meet with the same topic of stock trading and spirituality. Till then, stay tuned to PMC English for more updates.